Hello, my good friends. It's sure always good to come talk to my good friends. You know, I thought we had a pretty good class. Level 2 went pretty good. Boy, I tell you, you guys were rocking the house. The spiritual energies were rocking, baby. I tell you, I thought that was a good class too, you know. We decided that we need more time, so I'm going to put on a 3-day iridology, just iridology and protocols. That's all. Nothing else. Iridology and protocols. So you learn how to take an eye and totally make a protocol on it. Because it is all. Most of these questions are what protocols do I use? And that's what these classes are, is to teach you why we use certain protocols. But a lot of you get that already on this channel here. We pretty much tell you kind of what we would do with these cases. Particularly, we have the 14-week protocol to kind of show you the kind of rhythm that we use. And we generally don't pull back from that too much. We might even add, if I've got multiple issues in a person, that I need to break up lung mucus at the same time, fix heart arrhythmias at the same time, I'm going to be going in different places. But we'll get to all that. I think I showed you this before. I was looking through this. It's such well done. And this is from Rip. How he did this all up with the eyes and everything. I don't know if you can see all that. That's pretty cool. Good stuff. Yeah. Let me see here. This is from Maximus. And how do we get the protein on a fruits, berries, melon diet if we are weight trainers and athletes? And even though we've covered this, I think the importance is that there's so many videos up. It is hard to go back and look at them. So Maximus, Alan, he was here, and I just wanted to show you this guy. But we have plenty of guys right now doing this. Does about the same thing you do. And I was asked that question by some serious bodybuilders. And it's, to be honest with you, if you're in competition right now, like Mr. Olympia, and we had that discussion, I'll suggest that you don't detox, that you shift to a high green drink program with high alfalfa, high kelp, particularly lots of alfalfa for the amino acids and the minerals. At the same time, what's hard to describe to you is that after a program, that's when your endurance and power goes way up from where you are now, even the power trainers. But to get there sometimes can spend a period of time where your body's down. And if you're used to packing on muscle with proteins, the problem is what you're doing to your kidneys and your GI tract. These are the two places that are notoriously beat up. And of course, the study was out by the World Health Organization, but to be honest with you, these studies have been echoed for 50, 100 years. Back then, even a medical doctor called Tilden, he wrote a lot of books on raw foods. He also talked about protein years and years and years and years ago, 7,500 years ago. And back maybe even in the later 1800s, we saw different physicians at the time coming out with negative against protein type materials. And it just makes total sense when you think of the chemistry of it. I was talking to a lady over the weekend, and she couldn't believe that we could take someone that was crippled up, so acidic they had become solid and dehydrated to the point, again, they become like a rock, can't speak, and how you can pull someone back just on foods. And I've got to thinking, you know, this is the one thing that people don't understand, is that all life is chemistry and physics. And you get yourself there on foods, you can get yourself back on foods. That's what people don't realize. It's your foods, it's your consumption, it's your lifestyle that's doing this to you. It's only the medical community that ignores that, because it makes a lot more money if they dumb you down. They give you this ridiculous concept of diseases no one understands, and then charges you a lot of money to treat it, even though they have no idea themselves. I had a case that was due in here, and it was a simple case, which is they call it a disease of unknown origin, and there's so many sufferers in the world, and erythroalgia type of thing, where all it is red feet that's swollen, painful, radiate heat. Sometimes it's a hand, sometimes it's just the nose, just the ear, and it's like they don't get that. When you have practitioners that can't tell you why your feet are swollen, red, and hot and painful, that's pretty scary. Pretty scary. Especially when they lump it into diseases and stuff like that, and you can't walk anymore because of the moving toward neuropathy syndromes and stuff like that. And it's like, are you kidding me? To have that level of ignorance as scary as I can't. There's no words for that. So you all want to be real careful. The coming future is maddening because in these chronic and degenerative levels, which is where most of man is now, there's no medical help. Very little surgery for when things really blow, but outside of that, you can't. You're getting more blowback from the pharmaceuticals. It's just not good. But Maximus, to answer your question, you don't want to detox, but I tell you, I would take some things for the endocrine glands, the adrenals, clean up my bowels at the same time because you want to try to get some. If you're fighting that, then you're malabsorbed. And you've got to fix malabsorption is to get the lymph system going. So that's kidney and adrenals. So you could get by with not too strict of a detox. I mean, you're not going to detox much going on the greens anyway. But if you want to kind of halfway fix things and at the same time keep your muscles, you can only do that with green drinks and salads and, avocado, lots of avocados and things like that. That would be the best place to do that, but you would want to look at the superfoods. Get a superfood blend like ours where you have the royal jellies and the alfalfas and all this, and there's more chemistry in that than anybody could ever use for 2 weeks. So you could pump something like that. Just remember, the more you slip into a protein structure, the more you're slipping into dehydration, acidosis, and that includes nuts and seeds. So as an athlete, the more protein you consume, it has the reversed effect. You might feel stronger and can pump, but they'll go bye-bye quick if you don't keep working them. And that's what you don't want. They're faulty muscles. They don't have the power. We had a big discussion of this at school this weekend. The power that comes into your muscles when you're on a raw food diet and you're starting to get proper digestion, proper absorption, proper utilization by proper eliminating your wastes and byproducts of the food you put in to begin with. It's not just about digestive or undigested waste, it's about cellular waste, parasitic waste, systemic waste. This is the big one. So, for those like Maximus and those that want to, if you want to be a runner or you need endurance, you want to go through detox because I can get you to a point of almost endless endurance. You just get bored. So that's a different story. It depends what type of athlete you are and personal trainer you are. So there's ways to work this. Use the herbs and at the same time use the greens and the green drinks and not get up on those proteins which just rip the kidneys in, because you have to know factually that if you're on a high protein diet, your health is being compromised daily whether you're aware of it or not. If you take a look at the athletes, the RA is top of the list there almost, and that's rheumatoid arthritis. That's a very typical syndrome when you're dealing in high protein, body lifting and pumping, and all that's involved in that. You must understand how to get healthy and well and remove the obstructions to all flows of energy. So you become unobstructed to any flow of energy. When that happens, energy is moving around you without obstruction, so there is no point of dis-ease. There's no point of, what's the word I want electrically? Anyway, it's enough to say that your electricity is just piled on and piled on. So it's amazing. It is amazing, Maximus, where you can go. If you're you really need to have a pretty looking body, and it's your livelihood and you must do, then you want to bring detox way, 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 way down. And it's hard to control it because your body naturally wants to clean and heal itself. It isn't something we want to, we pray that your body works. No, no, no. Your body is already sitting there like horses trying to get out of the gate. When are you going to get this going so I can get myself healthy? So just the changing of the diet. Some of you were getting in so many great testimonials. They have a quad moving. After only 5 days, he's starting to move better. I got another guy we pulled out of a nursing home that stroked and everything else. He's doing really well. I mean, you start to see what the effect of proper food and proper chemistry has upon a living, breathing organism such as the human body. Amazing stuff. But when you look at it through chemistry and physics, it all is there. It really is. Not to look at the fuel you're burning when you have symptomology is, I don't know, I don't even know. Growing up, I already knew that we weren't eating the best. Didn't know about the raw. Oh, okay. What would you recommend to deal with SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth? A lot of gastroenterologists prescribe either Metronidazole or something, Flagyl, yeah, or Xifaxan or something like that. You want all the bacteria you can get. Now, I know that we've talked about the flesh-eating levels, but you have to understand that whoever has this issue, you have to take a look at the eyes, and you know what you'll see? Extreme skin weakness, extreme subcutaneous toxemia. You can't have nothing there and then have bacteria just hanging around having a party. Hey boys, how's it all going? Well, I don't see anything here for us to eat or do. We'll just hang around and maybe they'll get us out of here. Bacteria is just like any other creature on the planet looking for food. If you're a host and you offer the gnarly stuff up, remember bacterium is, there's all levels, no question, but we eat so much dead animal tissue that we invite the proteolytics all the time in. These are the protein splitters. These are the bad boys. So again, it's not the bacteria you want to ask me about. It's where or why do I have an overgrowth? And it just says that you're offering up the food. Well, what is the type of food that bacteria is like? It isn't fresh. It's the sewage, guys. I mean, God has to have cleansers in its realms. And bacterium and microbes are little cleansers. If you hadn't noticed, they cleanse and help transmutate. So they're the sweethearts of the world. Again, you can't attack God and blame God's creation for our idiocy. We have just been eating the wrong foods for our species, and there's no other way to look at it. To do so is ego, is to deny the very fact that we're a high spiritual species on this planet. We have the ability to have self-cognition. We are the highest electrical species. We obviously can not only make tools, we can take those tools and build skyscrapers. So this is a high level of energy and neural performance, a high level of consciousness, and we're eating dead animals and crap that grows on the ground and in the ground. And that is why everybody's sick. We're eating food that don't even mix together at the same meals. We're breaking every law of chemistry and physics there is. And then we sit there and bitch because the little creatures of the earth sees filthy, dirty bodies inside and comes in and says, well, I'm going to help clean this up, and then we get killed because we're in there helping. It's just a whole line of ignorance on this planet, and particularly related to the health of the human body. It doesn't take a brainchild to understand why we suffer the way we suffer, and you have to understand there's only two sides of chemistry. And when medical doctors don't know what side of chemistry your feet would be in when they're swollen and heat coming from them and in pain, and that cold water makes you feel better, I don't know. But you guys need to know. Acid is heat-producing, hot, inflammatory, and corrosive. It'll rip you apart. It dehydrates you first, makes your heart as a rock, makes your joints stiff, sucks your calcium out, creates a lipid plaque to try to stop it, and it occludes you up bad and makes you hard and puts you back in the fetal position, period. To stop that, there's only one way you can stop that. There's only one way. And you can get into all the chemistry and physics, but there's only one way, and chemistry already knows that way. You have to get on the other side of chemistry. You can't stay on the acid side of chemistry. You got to get on the other side. And to call all this alkalosis shows there's no connection between books and the mind and consciousness in terms of that sort of thing. It's insanity. When you guys get it, you're going to be going, oh my God. That's right. It's just cold cooling is alkaline. Alkaline is anti-inflammatory, pain-free. Acids causes pain. Alkalis reduce pain. So you can see that you're playing this kind of game. So anyway, you got to understand that life only has two sides of chemistry. And if you're a physician and you don't know what sides of chemistry causes swelling, causes pain, heat, that's scary. And a naturopath that doesn't know that, shame on you. All right, so I wouldn't get into any of these type of antifungals or anti-inflammatories. I mean, antibiotic kind of stuff, and get away from that small intestinal bacterial growth. Clean out your GI tract. Get the plaque, because remember, if you're plaqued up with the amyloid/mucoid plaque, that's food right there. Food right there. And people that have proteins and white flour products and things like that, like the white breads, you're going to have impactions on your bowel wall. And if you have diverticulums, they could be full of old fecal matter with mold and everything else. I see that all the time. People pooping old pieces of fecal matter that have mold all over them and everything. Been hiding in a diverticulum bowel pocket for a while. So it's can be pretty gnarly. Marjorie, is it true oatmeal is bad for diabetics type 1? Heat can I take for diabetes 1 type? I do not want to eat chemicals. Honey, let me see here. First of all, oatmeal. Sticky, gluey oatmeal. Who doesn't like it though? I mean, it has a good flavor. But sticky, gluey, polysaccharide, starchy oatmeal. You daggone right. That's many sugars. You wouldn't want to eat that with type 1 or 2. You don't want to eat oatmeal at all. That's polysaccharides. It's a starch. It's sticky, gluey oatmeal. But it is good. It's good with raisins in it. But you can take like that Alpen or the cereals that are whole grains and all that with raisins and all that and cook that down if you want. But again, all this type of food is not human food, but it's also not animal food. Notice all, even Purina, all the dog manufacturers, the grain and everything or dog foods and stuff are pulling the grains out. Well, wait a minute. For years, we've heard nothing about how good grains are. There's a huge category on the pyramid chart by the American Dietetics Association that grains are a big hearty part of the day. Oh, really? And I wanted to address this because this goes back to someone that asked me a question on the last video, and I hope I didn't dishonor the fellow, but this was an Indian man. And he was talking about his tradition, of course, is the naans, the breads and stuff like that. And, you know, I hate to say this, we must break all traditions. It's time for you guys to get free again. Traditions are part of a social consciousness. Life doesn't worry about yesterday, it's too busy going forward. So when you live in the past and we have this pseudo idea that we need to keep our traditions alive, that's not how creation works. Creation is always going, and there's nothing ever static. And when you live in the past all the time, you don't enjoy the now much, And so tradition, 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 and it might sound a little wacky, but I'm a warrior freedom type of guy. So if you want to know God, you can't hang on to tradition. If you want to know spirituality and be a spiritual being, you can't hold on to traditions. You have to let these go. The belief systems, the traditions, these all lock you in and tie a nice little bow around you and guarantee you're going to reincarnate. You got to be real careful what you hold dear to you. If you want to hold something dear to you, hold God dear to you. That's the best thing you could ever hold dear to you. An infiniteness about whatever the divine is. I simply refer to God as the divine. Because people get hooked up on words like, okay. So you have to be careful with traditions and that sort of things, and ceremonies and things like this, because we need to reclaim our divinity. And I'm saying this to each and every one of you beautiful souls listening to this. Reclaim your divinity. You are the consciousness of your world. You are the powerhouse. You are the happiness. You are the excitement of your world. When you let creation pull that away from you, then you don't have any fun anymore. And you've got balls and chains of desires that you've created. Let it all go. Enter a whole new world of beauty, light, and love, and health, and vigor, vitality. Take a new step in a new world. Set yourself free. This is a rock spinning through space in an artificially made universe. As soon as you take your attention off of it, that universe is gone to you. As soon as you leave this rock, this world is gone to you unless you slip back in reincarnation, and that a lot of souls do for quite some time. And the only way to break that cycle is to let go of your traditions, your belief systems, your desires, and the mind. But Buddha taught that. All the spiritual giants that I've read taught that. But they would teach that because that is the road to God. And if these are God men, they're going to teach what's on the road and how to walk down that road a little bit. So free yourselves. Free yourselves of tradition and ceremony and stuff like that. You don't need it. You don't need it anymore. That locks man into social consciousness, into the family and into the unit. And then governments and everybody else starts controlling that. So you become part of the herd. And it's like, if you want to be part of the herd, okay. But the herd at any given time doesn't touch the feet of God. The herd is always kept unconscious to keep creation going. You are awakening and becoming conscious. That means you're being more aware of diet, proper foods, proper everything. And as that begins to uplift you with energy, you'll start seeing all kinds of things that you didn't see before. Things that you thought were true are no longer true. A lot of these things come and change yourself. Be willing to change with that, because this ride is a good one. You guys like to ride these insane rides like Disney World and all that? This one's better. This one's better. All right, Terry. Hello, my dear Dr. Morse. Hello, my dear Terry. It's Terry again from Level 1 class. Hi, sweetheart. Hope you're doing well, and I'm still watching 5 to 6, 7 hours daily. Oh, my God. I don't know how you do it, you guys. You guys are crazy. And have learned so much. Thanks. Thank you, sweetheart. Sorry I will miss at the Level 2 class this year, but hopefully next year I can make it. However, I might make the seminar you and your team are working on for next year. I'm hoping so. We're not going to probably have a Level 2 next year because we'll have this going on. But I am going to offer a 3-day iridology and protocol, and that's all we're going to do. It's all going to be iridology and protocols. It'll be a little bit different. Nothing. We've already discussed the universe and everything. I have 2 issues I need your help with, please. First, my vision is constantly blurry. No tonsils. Well, see, so that's the first thing you begin to realize is that when they start taking out lymph nodes, and of course Terry knows immediately it's her lymph system making her blurry. Now, whether that's coming back here in the cerebellum, which is where the optic nerves cross and come together here, that could be, or you could have just mucus building up in the eye tissues there, which you could use the eye wash to pull all that mucus out of the eye. When you use that eye wash, it's going to pull the mucus out of your eye. You could wake up with a lot of mucus, or mucus could pour out of your eye. That's how you see better. And so, but also getting that bowels cleaned up, and Terry, and getting this the head cleaned. That's what drain the sinuses and get the head cleaned. Because you want to keep your teeth, you want to be able to smell at the best, you want to taste at the best, hear the best, see the best. I mean, sensory is exciting, is nirvanic. When you lose your sensory perceptions, your life is dulled. So when you start turning all of them on, and some of you people that can't hear much, you can get that back. Same way with sight. So really want to go in and have some fun with this and get your sight up there. Let's see. I use your eye wash, which does a beautiful job at moving the mucus out. Oh, but it lasts a few days and I'm back at the wash again. Yeah. You know what? You will still have that until you get the job done. Because this is just a way out. Another hole, but it's the way the body has. So what can suggest, are you getting those kidneys filtering? Make sure that, get the GI tract cleaned up, keep working on that to where you're draining that upper head. And if you have to, go on some strong fast, go on a 20-day grape fast or a 20-day lemon juice fast or something. Really honk on and get on that, pull it out. Good oranges are going to be here. You can go on a 10-day orange fast. You want to join me?
Absolutely.
Come on in. Let me get rid of this telly.
Sorry about that.
Oh no, I figured you were working on a case there.
Yep.
Now I can get over. I have so much paperwork all around. Hello, my friends. This is Attila. And
Hello.
Attila, his mother owns a salt cave. Some of you probably enjoyed the salt cave when you were here. Oh, we have all kinds of fun, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
So Attila's been with us for a lot of years now. He just has graduated out of school. He's been with us, though, for years while he's going to school. And now he's our next counselor up. So I just want you to get used to meeting him. He's a little soft-spoken and speaks from the heart. So he's a good dude in every way, and I just want people to, and we'll answer some of these together. And
Sounds good.
Attila and I like research. Yeah. We really like to be able to lay it out both through chemistry and possibly physics. But again, we run into a lot of roadblocks in trying to draw that complete picture in chemistry. I've always said you can't get here from there.
Yeah. Well, like a big thing that's good to know is explaining it simplistically, but then at the same time being able to back it up and work the process to help people who come from more of like maybe medical thinking or more from the medical paradigm where they're used to everything laid out perfectly, so I think it helps.
Yeah, I think
Keep
that.
It simple though.
Yeah, I think once we home the level 2, it'll be enough. And sometime I might just do a video on biochemistry, what we know of, and what we can prove and what we can, without too many theories. Because again, it's theory city there. And you kind of saw that when you were working in there, especially we were trying to pinpoint the endocrine glands. It was somewhat difficult doing some of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, once in a while you'll find in a book some information that someone got from somewhere that you can't find anymore. So it does help to look through some of those old books. So these old greats, they found stuff that you just don't see anymore for some reason. It's like...
Yeah, it just, remember when we were talking about it, and I was asking you, just like getting frustrated, pulling my hair, of just, you hit those roadblocks that you were saying that you did when you were researching, where you just...
Exactly. And there's nothing you can do about it.
You can't.
It leads to frustration.
Mm-hmm.
And so you realize, well, that's not getting people well anyway, because we are using biochemistry's current theories allopathically and other ways, pharmaceutically and everything, and obviously it's not working out too well. So we use the reverse theory here, and everybody's getting well. So, it's interesting. All right, this is Terry, and she was asking me about herbs for the eye and everything. It says, can you recommend more herbs to help as I can get deep enough into the eyes to regain the perfect vision I had before? I'm about to go crazy. Well, Terry, it is not just about using the eye wash, and you can use it internally as well, and we have raw eye tissue. But it's about getting into the interstitial spaces of your whole head. But it needs to be able to drain, and if everything is full down below, it ain't going to drain. So you really have to clean down below to get the upper to clean.
I can attest to that. We've had cases where normally when someone's starting off with any type of congestion inside of the head, you'll notice like a cool little trick that I just remember I figured out from you that someone told me. When you go shake someone's hand, you put it on their shoulder, you're checking for the tightness in the shoulder. Well, things like that, like tightness in the shoulders, any type of sinus pressure, anything with the equilibrium loss and things like that, those all are, it just shows you that we're dealing with systems, not just individualized organs and disease processes. Because the example I gave was, if you're dealing with, let's say, dermatitis up top and you start draining downwards, it's like you pull the plug out from bottom through the kidneys, and everything just starts draining downwards. And then when that happens, you might start experiencing some interesting things, like all of a sudden you'll start getting tinnitus.
Oh, yeah.
You'll start getting pressure in the sinusitis, a sore throat, lymph nodes swelling, neck's getting tight and everything.
That means you're getting ready for a big one.
But it's like, instead of running to like the hospital for something like that, you can explain it so well through just detoxing. That's what's just happening.
Exactly.
It's the system. You see acids and lymph moving through, causing pressure in just the different areas, and you're seeing how the lymphatic expressions.
Yeah. Yep. You bring up a good point. And we try to teach you that the body is made in systems, and you have to understand the system. So when you have, let's say, a tumor somewhere, or like you said, all the pressure and the lymph back up, you have a whole system down. It isn't just a little tissue over here or tissue over there. You have a whole system down, especially on that side of the body where the kidneys are down. So, good point. And she just has to get into a drainage situation to get this whole head to drain. You can treat a little bit by drawing and pulling on the eyes a little bit that way, and maybe using some that same wash internally. Because you said it, Tilly, you've got to really cut cleaning below. So remember, the kidneys are where you're going, or out the skin you go, or out any other hole you have. So you got to see how the kidneys and everything close to it. But we watch this in detox, that everything close to the kidneys clears up first, and then it starts working itself up. But you see it going the other way. As you start to build up, down here gets it, the lung gets it, and then up the throat, and then the sinuses, and now...
Keeps it fun, though.
It does.
You never know exactly how it's going to be expressed to each person.
You don't. And in homeopathy, though, they were saying that healing comes from inside out and the head down. Untrue. Yeah. Okay. My next option, of course, you don't need me to tell you the herbs to do that, right? Because we know we go on the kidneys, the lymphatics, the adrenals, the GI tract, the GI broom. All of these focuses are what you have to do. You can't just use one herb and think you're going to, use a kidney herb and everything will be okay. That's not the case. You want to enter this as if you're going to go and you're going to a match, whether it's a boxing match, a wrestling match, or whatever it is, tennis match. To win, you got to put it all on the mat. And that's what you got to do. You put it all on the mat. You're going to win this because you're going back and unwinding your past. This isn't about treating diseases. This is unwinding what you created. You just had created it unconsciously. And of course, we would talk about genetics all the time. All of that sitting on top of there.
That would be real interesting to show the picture that we had from class with the LASIK surgery where they botched it, and I mean, just the big square, pretty
Interesting.
much
Did you see that one?
pupil that they had.
Yeah, screw it back
they
on.
had jerry rig pretty much a pupil.
Did you see that? Yeah. I can't remember the case, but when I first took that picture, it freaked me out, and you could see the screws that they screwed right into the eye with. Some ophthalmologists screwed up these people's pupils so bad that they had to make one out of I don't know what, and then like you would cut out a piece of material and you screwed the patch on. Yeah, you want to be real careful. My next option will be LASIK. Be real careful.
Yeah.
Interesting we brought that up because this could be something that she'd get in trouble with, which I don't want to do and would love your thoughts on. Dig in. That's my thoughts. Dig in. If you haven't cleaned this up yet, sweetheart, dig in deeper because you need to. Because it isn't just about your eyes, is it? What else is there? The hard drive, your computer, your mainframe. You lose that, and your ability as soul to communicate to your physical body is somewhat lost. You don't want to lose your brain. Didn't say mind, your brain. My weight. Let's see. My second question is weight loss in the fruit. I haven't lost any weight. Well, here's just the opposite. Right? Here's just the opposite. I haven't lost any weight. Now, we get them, oh, we've lost too much weight. So here's one. I haven't lost any weight, and due to having chronic adrenal gland weakness, nerve rings, true. That must be the issue, true. So once I get my adrenals back working good, then I can assume the fruit will not make me gain weight. Right. Right?
Yeah.
You want to address that one? That's wrong.
Well, you know, the thing with fruit is normally when you have the adrenals down like that, you got to look at your eyes too. You got to look into the bowel tract. You got to make sure of how if you're malabsorbed, are you absorbing.
Yeah.
You can look into the thyroid even, but still, I mean, all these things are kind of like secondary things on the totem pole compared to the lymph system.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so.
Well, she might be, her adrenals might be down so much that she's not filtering good right now. And that might be the trouble. You haven't mentioned yet on this that you're filtering or not filtering. I think that you want to look and see if you're filtering, first of all, because if you're not filtering, you want to hit the kidneys and adrenals a lot harder than you're doing. The second thing to this is once my adrenals are fixed, I can then, no. Why would fruit make you gain weight? There's nothing fattening about it, but there is something that it has a lot in it. It's called H2O. So the negative thing about gaining weight on fruit wouldn't be gaining fat because it's simple sugar. You would have to really, I don't know what you'd have to do to gain weight eating fruit. I've never seen anybody gain weight eating fruit. But what would you gain? Edema. And that tells me that you're extremely acidic. If you gain weight eating fruit, you're extremely acidic. And I see that with these real obese people. They're so acidic that when they eat anything, fruits and vegetables, they gain weight. That's just edema. That's just trying to get them to a point of hydration where everything is starting to become anionic so it can move and get out of you. Because in a dehydrated state, everything's locked tight in there. Everything's dehydrated and getting harder and solid and locked in there. You have to bring juice to that. You have to bring hydrating nectar to that. Well, that's only found on the base side of chemistry. And dehydration is found on the acid side of chemistry. So again, we just talked before you came in here, the two sides of chemistry again.
Reminds you of that one case you talked about, the lady who took a shower.
Oh yeah, gained 5 to 10 pounds taking a friggin' shower.
Yeah.
She didn't even have to eat the fruit. So it brings up a question. I wonder how much she gained eating all the raw like that. The thing about that is congestive heart failure, pulmonary edema. That's the problem with this sort of water gain in that way. Because water is how we bring that out a little, believe it or not, for chemists there, that little extra electron in there. And that's how we bring oxidation to a situation. That's how we break up stagnation, is bringing a free electron in, which hydrogen generally gets up as only electron. And you begin to see that hydration. Remember, water is the universal solvent. And it's used, and we talked about that in class, and how through osmosis, that's why we see edema in a highly acidic situation. And his bodies need to pull this water in here to break up the dehydration, to break up the solidification, to bring some oxidation or some alkaline move in there. So it's just, whenever you see this in life, you know that all life is simply bouncing back from positive and negative, or from your acid base, however you wish to look at it. And we talk a lot about that life's nothing but factors of pH. So getting with that helps you to understand that most man's symptomologies and problems are on the acid side of chemistry. There's over-alkalized people, but by far, the whole run is acidosis, because all your byproducts from cellular waste and stuff are acids.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what else she wants to say here. I have to go on the protein diet, no meat or dairy, just protein drinks and veggie patties. Fruit and veggies to try and lose weight currently? Terry, what are you talking about, sweetheart? I say that you need to hydrate a little bit and move through this, is what I'm thinking. If you feel like you're gaining too much weight on fruit and you don't on veggie patties, everything here is cooked. Well, for sure there's no water in cooked food.
All these things are going to further
Oh, yeah, this all just takes you down the same road you're there, sweetheart. I don't want to do any protein, but right now it's my only option to getting some of this weight off while my glands are done. Please clarify this for me, as I've been trying. Then you might have to go on a water fast. Go on a water fast for about 3 or 4 days and see if that'll reset your clock. Or put yourself just on a lemon juice fast for 3 days. Just 3 days lemon juice fast. See if that'll reset your clock doing that. But you're going to have to break this and break loose. By adding the food you just talked about, will keep setting you back into Hellville. So someday you're going to have to break that chain and bust out of that corral you're in and break loose with that.
Mm.
What do you think?
Sounds about right.
About right. That's what I'm thinking too.
It's not really the only way you can.
Well, it is.
I mean, like if you look at the fruits, if you're looking at it just from a caloric intake point of view, there's not enough calories for you to gain physical weight.
Yeah.
You know, not fat weight.
Right.
So really the only way that you can gain weight at a fast period or lose weight extremely fast in a matter of days is going to be water weight.
Yeah.
And that's any diet that you're going to be doing,
Yep.
whether it's high protein, high carbohydrate, high fat.
Well, if she went on a high protein diet, even of the veggie variety, you're going to hurt yourself. You're already acidic, and you want to get away from that side of chemistry. Whenever you cook your foods, you bring that food that was maybe base dominant or alkaline dominant more toward the acid side. Why? Because when you add heat, which is acid, you agglomerate, coagulate. These are the principles of acidosis, cationic environments, where things are so dehydrated, they have the effect of coagulation, agglomeration, everything sticks and dehydrates and all of that. So, the only way to continue to go down that road is to hydrate and break loose. I think that I think your focus should be on kidney and adrenals.
Probably on the diuretic
Yeah.
formula, like
Yeah.
the 2 and the
Absolutely.
4.
Absolutely. And then the kick from the adrenals to the kidneys too. All of those factors to help her keep that water off of there and keep that up, because to gain fat on fruit, no. But you will gain water weight. You can. But that also tells me and him that you're extremely acidic right now, Terry, and you need to get in there and break this chain loose. Break this loose up here, because you can't treat this. You're treating it with, which is okay, because you're getting some move on this. You might want to candle your ears, and then also start working on your neurolymphatics down your spine. At the same time, put yourself on a 3 or 4 day lemon juice fast or something with less water. But lemons are so astringent, I don't think you're going to hold much water with that. So I don't know. Those are the sort of things I'd be doing. But I noticed that once you break that, you'll find yourself got running. Water will start pouring out of you. Everything will start breaking loose. There's just a certain level of hydration. If you try to play Miss Chemist with the foods, that's when you can mess yourself a little bit. You don't want to do that. You want to push yourself on through to Wellville. You don't want to mess and keep playing back here, and you'll always be fighting this. someday or another you've got to break through. What do you think?
Pretty much. You either deal with it now or you deal with
Deal with it later. Yeah.
you're in chronic kidney failure or something like that.
We don't like to see the laters. We'd rather help you early on. And that's for obvious reasons, because it's not fun when you're in these advanced cases and your heart, you try not to care, but yeah, it's hard not to care when you're spiritual people and they're suffering. But it can hurt you from doing that. Dear Dr. Morse, I am 34, have zero sexual drive, had sex with a lady with yeast infection and got a UTI about 5 years ago. She had been infected with staph second year prior. Got a boil on thigh, then disappeared. Now skin on my inner thighs and groin has turned a grayish color. I feel bumps under my skin. Doctors think I'm crazy, say I'm healthy. Yeah, well, yeah, I got you with that one. On day 3 of juice fast from DTV, Dan McDonald, is that? Apple ginger blast, greens, and OJ, none of those mix. Got colonic today. Eyes feel weak since the juice fast. What else should I do? Herbs? Thank you, Stephen A.
Oh boy.
Well, at 34 years old, one thing's for sure. And I've been telling him for years, that we know that you have kidney and adrenal problems. There's no question. If you don't, you better go run play the lotto, and I'd play the big one, because you'd be so rare that you'd probably win. It's just, it'd be rare. So it isn't the fact that this lady had a yeast infection, so what? It's your culturing medium that's the problem, not hers. She already cultured. Your problem is you have a culturing medium yourself, and you have to fix this. A UTI years later wouldn't have been caused from the yeast infection. UTI is generally not fungus. You can be bacterial, but not an infection. This is extreme acidosis. When you fill your kidneys like that. So if you feel like you're full of fungus from that, you can detox. But staph isn't a fungal problem. It's a bacterial problem, but we all have staph and strep in us already, I hate to tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a fact of life. They just make that a big deal, but people carry staph and strep. They're common bacterium, and they don't hurt anybody. Got a boil on your thigh, so automatically.
Lymph.
Yeah. Take a knife, cut that puppy. Get a back stab and pull that baby right on that. You wouldn't have, if you got a boil, all you do is have to cut a white potato in half and scrape a white potato on a 4x4 gauze, put it on there. Next day it'll pop that baby right open.
I was about to say, I didn't have a boil, but there was a cyst on my leg that I had. But I mean, you could tell right under here, I have a little bit of issues with the kidneys. And in the eye, you could see a little bit of lymph issues. But the other way, I guess you could do it too, is work on it internally too, which he would always recommend working on it internally as well. These are just extra things you can do on top of it. I will say though, most of the time, if you have like anything like that, and you start working with the lymph formula, you start working with the kidney formulas, if you don't know where your lymph nodes are,
you might then.
You're going to feel them.
Yeah.
You feel every single lymph node formula working all the way almost up to the kidney.
Oh, wow.
So.
Well, see, you might feel that. Now, Dan's got him on an apple ginger blast, greens, and OJ. Well, I mean, those all sound good. But seriously, you might want to just do the OJ or something like that. Really get into a deeper fast. I mean, this is all good stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. But you might want to kick it up another notch and go a little deeper at the same time. I would get herbs for my kidneys, adrenal glands, my lymph system, my GI tract. Go right into those tissues. Go into your, if you don't have any money, but just enough to go into that GI tract, the kidneys and endocrine glands, that's a core of everybody's failure. And if you can just go into those tissues, boy, you'll really make a big difference. That's where your filtering is. That's everything. So if you can just go into those tissues right there, Stephen, you'll be good with that. But it's your lymph system you have to detoxify. Remember this: if you contract anything from anybody, detox it out. Don't blame them because they're in the same boat. They need to learn to detox this out. We can detox all this stuff up, but I would definitely want to kick up my adrenals a little bit, to kick up your prostate, to kick up your testicles. And it sounds like you're running zit for testosterone, which would be common, in young people today. So you might want to get the male reproductive formula after you clean a little bit. Get the male reproductive formula and work a little bit on strengthening the prostate. That'll flip back to the testicles. By increasing your adrenals, that'll also give us full testosterones. So, go after those glands.
I'll say another one too. If don't know where your pituitary gland is too.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It's just, again, just reporting from what we see a lot more in the clinic now too. It's like a hot topic area that we have now. It's normally our pituitary weaknesses that we see in people's eyes that they're bringing in.
Yeah.
So
I tell you, once you get that down, you guys are getting pretty good, because it's just not well known out there by any clan how to relate the pituitary with the endocrine gland problems and stuff. But once you get that down and work on that, you really have it. You really have something down that no one else has. And helping the world to understand all this is important, because it's just a real suffering place right now. So I'd say, Steve, you really need to hit it. Dig in there and get it. You got a colonic today. You know what? I tell you what, that's enough. Get on a high fruit fast. Go on a grape fast, like a 20, 30-day grape fast. Pick up maybe some herbs for the kidneys and the adrenals, the GI tract. Really get into these tissues and clean them up. And or the endocrine gland formula. I do the endocrine gland hooked with the adrenals, hooked with licorice root if you have low blood pressure. And that really is a good kick. So, yeah. Eyes feel weak. Yeah, whenever you need to get up in here, and at 34 years old, I can tell you that your nervous system is probably down a little bit. So, upper circuit, brain, and nerve, get on the adrenals, and you guys can turn on your bodies and electrify yourselves. Pretty good.
sounds like a plan.
Sounds like a plan, don't they? Well, let's do a couple more. It's 4:30. This is Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah. I always like the name Sarah. Hi, Dr. Morse. I'm hoping that this is a question you answer in your YouTube video. My mother is a 52 years and recently diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. We were just talking about RA, because the first question up is from Maxim, who said, how do we get the protein on a fruits, berries, and melons diet if we are weight trainers and athletes? Well, what you have to understand that anything that has form has amino acids. So everything has amino acids. But to pack on the muscle and to look what people like on this earth think is weight training and stuff, pack on the green drinks.
Clean out your system.
That's what I'm saying. But he doesn't. He's like Mr. Olympia. He doesn't want to look, like Alan did. A little skinny at first, and then we've been showing him Alan. Who got real skinny, but now look at him. Just one good-looking dude. Okay, 55 years, and she was recently diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. Can you go into detail about what is actually happening with the autoimmune disease and what herbs you would suggest? On top of that, she is emphysema, chronic fatigue, degenerative disc disease, thyroid issues, and a plethora of other ailments. I have hope, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could easily almost track every single one of these issues back as that domino effect that starts back from the lymph and the kidneys and acidosis. Most of these issues you're dealing with here are inflammation issues.
Yeah.
Degeneration, thyroid issues, whether it's hypo or hyper, you're just dealing with the acid of either suppressing or
stimulating.
Stimulation.
Yeah. But same system?
Yeah, same thing. Degenerative discs, you can blame it on the parathyroid, but
something had to take the calcium out, right? Something had to borrow the calcium.
It's like
everything's related.
The autoimmune disease is just one of those things where it's almost like an insult to the body, saying that it's stupid and doesn't know what it's doing.
You know what? It is an insult to the. I have to say that's how I perceived it at first too. To be honest with you, it was like, are you kidding me? Not only is it an insult to the human body, it's an insult to God. What it is an insult to yourself. When anybody pulls this autoimmune crap, you have to realize, and I'm not talking about those that believe in it, or buy into that. But those that actually say it, knowing how the body works, that's got to be a tongue biter. I don't know, what's the problem there, but let me just call it autoimmune. Oh my God. All right, RA, rheumatoid arthritis, and all the arthritises. Let's just put rheumatoid arthritis, osteo, let's put everybody together, right? Now, let's also lump lupus here. Let's also lump fibromyalgia here, and let's also lump Lyme's here. We have this whole nest of what you hit it right on, inflammatory problems. Well, what you have to understand is that inflammation is your body's immune response. The word inflammation doesn't cause a thing. That's your body's immune response. The question, and I proposed this to you guys before, is to what is your immune system always responding to? If inflammation is immune response, and you've got inflammation in the shoulders and in the elbows and in the knees and all over the place, systemically all over the place, well, hell, then what could be causing all that then? What could be causing all this inflammatory response by the body all over the place? Bacteria? You don't have an autoimmune response to bacteria. What do we got? Always, always, always to proteins. You'll find it always, always, always. And in class, we were showing you the amyloid plaque and all that, showing you just why these proteins, where they come from, and why when you see Alzheimer's, I don't care what it is, you see this amyloid plaque. You see it in Alzheimer's, you see it in cancer, you see it all the time. You see it in detox, although we call it the mucoid. What is that? And again, you got to go back to what you said, your systems, and you have a system in your body that's the body's sewer system / immune system. That's your lymph system. And any way you shake that, and any way you look at it, that's your protection from acids. That's your waste from acids in the body. That's your lipid carrier system. That is a lipid system. It's your synovial fluids, your eye fluids. It's your lubricants. It's everything to you. That lymph system is everything. Blood is just the kitchen. Your lymph is doing 10 other different things. So it's a major system. Even the blood uses it to get rid of its crap. So you got to get with the lymph system and what it is. And when you have a lymphatic stagnation problems, that's when the autoimmune name comes. Because they don't know how to say lymphatic stagnation.
Mm-hmm.
That's not difficult to say.
Yeah, I mean, most of these immune or autoimmune disorders or diseases, it's like you just see breakdown of tissue, like your MS, ALS, and things like this. It's like, I just don't know how they see that is the issue there.
I know, I don't see how they get where they got.
Yeah,
I really don't see how they get there from here.
Yep.
And you can't. So lousy education as far as I'm concerned in all levels. And no offense, because we see it in naturopaths too. So I'm just saying, in today's world, you can't continue down this idiocy line of treating make-up-believe things with toxic chemicals that are killing all these people, and put it as it's good for the whole. You need this, just like a pharmaceutical commercial that tells you this drug could kill you, but you do need it, or ask your doctor if you need it, which for sure, for the most part, you probably will need it. So that's the problem with, on top of what you're learning here, is learning truth. You're learning how the body works. You're learning simply that there's two sides of chemistry. You can go to any chemistry school and learn that. Matter of fact, let us set you up with that and then go take a chemistry course. You'll be quite amazed at what you're learning. And now you can identify the chemistry that you're learning with your body. See? And they just don't do that.
I was about to say too, just to elaborate a little bit on that last part too, with like the thyroid issues and the plethora of other ailments. It's been brought up in other videos too that we've had, but there are times where you think, especially when you're shifting out of that paradigm of thinking of just specifics and just organ systems and disease processes and which organ and which symptom you're going after, and you look at the whole system and how everything's tied together. That's where you can really tie together some from the past videos that for instance, thyroid is rampant in the clinic here. So hyper, it doesn't matter which way you spin it. This is still a huge problem that we deal with, and one that we we deal with a lot is nodules and goiters.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
in those type of things, or let's
Tumors.
say tumor, if we let's just call it that. You can't go after. The first thought process would be, okay, well, I have a thyroid issue.
Let's treat the thyroid.
I have a thyroid formula. Everything should work handy dandy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, no. Let's just take a few steps back and let's figure out why your problem is. You have to take that time to educate yourself to figure out why you got there. If you really want to change your lifestyle, if you want to get into it and address that underlying issue. So I'm getting to a point here, but with the thyroid, if you have like hyper or hypo and you have a tumor in there, you can't go directly after it. The reason I brought that up is just to show you how the lymph system really is that system that is addressing all these other glands and tissues indirectly, sometimes directly.
Okay, so let's pose it this way to him. All right, so let's pose it this way. What's the relationship between rheumatoid arthritis, emphysema, chronic fatigue, degenerative disc disease, thyroid issues, and a plural of other elements? What is the tie, or can you tie all these together under one system or under one roof? And that's what he's trying to tell you.
Yeah. The like with the thyroid, what we would normally do in those type of issues is, we'd probably work with, the adrenals, and you'd work with the lymph system, and the major
kidneys.
elimination systems like the kidneys, and you beautifulally see thyroid numbers going back to normal range.
Mm-hmm.
How? You're not working on it directly,
Exactly.
right?
How?
So it's just,
Well, to understand how, and what he's talking about, is just what he's telling you. You have to understand that it's the lymph system that either makes it hypo or hyper. It's the lymph system that directly affects all these tissues in the body. And so when you fix that system, because like you said, the little polyps and nodules and all of these sort of things are just all tumors, just different levels of tumors. And there's only one system that you get tumors out of, the lymph system. So all this mucus of the lymph system can suppress the thyroid or make it hyperactive. Same thing with pituitaries, the same thing with any part of your body. So what we're saying is, you tie all this together, there's one common thread. Acidosis, the lymph system. And a lymph system that's not going anywhere, pretty much.
Yeah.
She's burning on her own. To look at this in one way, this lady is burning on her own cellular waste. She's dying on her own sewage, as well most of us do. How revolting is that? We're so unaware that we die from our own sewage, from the foods we're eating. How ridiculous. We're at a level this planet needs to be, at a much higher level of this. But ironically, that's what's happening. People are dying on their own ways.
I'd say there's that saying, we're our own worst enemies.
That's it. That's it, man. That's it. So, you have to hit this, like Attila was saying, you've got to hit this through the lymph system. You have to hit it through the kidneys, the adrenals, clean up the GI tract. I mean, I don't have to give you details, because that's what all these videos are. And you, by now, should know how to take and get into these and fix this person up. Obviously, what's the first thing you're going to do? What's the very first thing you do when you find you have a problem? Change your diet. Very first thing. You stop eating the acid-forming food. If you're in pain, acids create pain. Why would you eat acid-forming foods? Just causes more pain. And those are your proteins. But they didn't tell you that. Now, here's the experiment you can do with this lady. She's our age, so she probably has a lot of pain. So you can use our anti-inflammatory, but get her on a raw diet, get that pain out of there, and then just tell her to go down and have, or mother, and go down and have a high protein diet. Just tell you, get your mom out of pain, take a couple weeks maybe or so, and just go have a big meat meal. I guarantee you it'll be in her face what's causing all her pain. And when you're pointing that way and blaming everything outside, don't forget this thumb's pointing right back at the person that's controlling this. Who's driving your car?
Yeah.
That's the big thing, is who's driving your physical body, and who's driving your mind, who's driving your emotions. This could be a spiritual question.
Awesome.
We both like out-of-body travels and stuff like that, so we are looking. Here's astral projection, a dangerous delusion. Look at that stupid thing. Astral projection, a dangerous delusion. You know who wrote that? It's delusional. You know, this is the sort of thing that you see all the time out there, the demons and stuff like that. And these are fear-based people that write stuff like this. These are people that couldn't even, afraid of their own shadows. These souls like this will be spinning on this rock for a long time. I can just tell you, we see it all the time. You know, you never want to fear God, and you never want to fear yourselves. You want to get to know who you are, really who you are, and know your bodies and things like this. If you're down on this rock, you're so far away from home, figuratively speaking, that this is all fear down here. But you don't want the fear to keep you here. You want the fear to send, if you want to have fear at all, you want the fear to send you home. But you don't want to have fear of being here and have the fear that anything you do to expand your awareness is a Satan thing. That's going to lock you away for a long, long time, guys. I'm speaking to the soul who wrote this thing on astral projection, a dangerous delusion. Most of us have been out of the body quite a lot. There's nothing dangerous about it at all. We are souls. It's not getting out of the body. This body isn't ours. We're just using it.
Yeah.
So why would you not want to step out once in a while and say, just like you get out of your car once in a while, go, I'm tired of driving in this car. I need to get out. People make a big deal about this, and this is the old dark agey stuff that's out there that needs to go away, quite frankly, because we're in a whole other day and age where people have to start lifting their head out of this. Because you go back over to the Middle East and go there and you see what they want to do, they all want to go back to stagnation again. And it just goes back to power and control at another level. So here we got the people killing the people that's in power and control because they want to have power and control. It's like, oh, okay, here we go. So I don't know what to say. Let's see. Canadian Thanksgiving just passed and was Canadian Thanksgiving. We just this morning we shot a video from the Canadians. All the students this morning were Canadian.
Such good people.
Yeah, they got good people. We just shot some videos. And we had a whole room of people from Canada in here. Came to the class. Yeah. About Dr. Morse and how grateful I am for him. I know many feel the same. I love you too. I came across this discouraging post on astral travel. Yeah, you know what? They're delusional. And here's the thing. The sad thing is that this locks a lot of souls here, and they get fear-based. And it's like, you don't want to be fear-based. If you're fear-based, I want you to go in your bedroom, lock the door, and don't come out for a couple weeks.
Let's say, I don't know if it's the same exact thing, but it doesn't necessarily, all these things when you're expanding, they have this negative connotation about it,
Yeah.
Meditation, has a negative connotation. It just depends on who you speak to or what level you're speaking to.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have, you don't have to put a label on it. You don't have to, you just experience it. That's the best way. I've always done it.
Well, you're young, but I remember the day where transcendental meditation was a cuss word. And now it's like everybody does it even the cops do it. So it's like you see that growth in awareness.
Yeah.
And when you put your toes in the water and you go, oh, wait a minute, that's not too bad. Let me just get a little more in that water. Well, let me just get a little deeper into that. Well, this water feels pretty good. And that's what it is.
And, that's a big thing. You're always talking about the detached state. And it's like when you're going with the flow with everything and you're just kind of exploring what's put in front of you, you don't have to put a negative connotation to it. You accept it for what it is. You look at it and say, all right, let's explore it or let's not explore it. What's your gut feeling? You close your eyes. What's your soul saying?
Well, you bring up a good point. The good point is we tend to label our experiences. When you get outside of the emotional body, which is the astral body, there's no more labels. Things just are. You don't have, the mind likes to label and things like that, but once you get past that realm, there's no more labels. It just is. So when you look at that now, things just are. And you're guiding down different directions. When you go down this way, you're going to experience some things. If you eat this way, you're going to get a kickback. It's all just simple cause and effect. So we like to blame diseases or blame something other than ourselves and our genetics and things like that. But reality is, everything that you're experiencing, you created. It's just the way it is. And when you understand that, then you realize, well, wait, I have the power to change that. And that's what's happening. Most everyone else is playing the herd game. Remember, if you're not lead dog, the view is always the same. Not a pleasant thought.
Yeah. Just one more thing, because I know
Sure.
that we could probably talk about this
Oh, we could beat
till
this
tomorrow. If
one.
I
We
had
could
thought
beat
the
this
same
horse.
thing. Yeah, pretty much. But cool things like that I've experienced with that. And I don't know if you can relate this to what you're talking about here, but just being in a detached state of pretty much not caring, and just not in a negative way. But there's just been some cool things that have been happening, like just driving down, 75, which is a major highway down here, and driving on the side of the road, and all of a sudden, I'm just kind of in my own little zone, and I look over up into, look up into the sky. There's an eagle flying there, and it's just this weird. I had this weird connection with it where my perception went right to the eagle, and it was like looking down because the eagle was flying right over a soccer field. A bunch of kids playing.
Did you
there.
see what it was seeing?
I saw exactly what it was seeing. So these are these things where you don't necessarily, you can't just think, oh, I'm just crazy, or it didn't happen. It's like you just take a second, you view it for what it is, and if it keeps coming up, it might be a good time to start looking into it. It's just from what I've seen.
There was a movie. I don't know if it was Bad Son, Bad Seed, Good Seed, or something, but the one son, and they made him the bad one for some reason, I think. I can't remember too much about it, other than the old aunt or grandmother trained one of the boys to bilocate. Mm-hmm. Trained them to put themselves into the body of a bird or whatever, and this son developed the ability, if he wanted to be in the bird, he could be in the bird looking out all over. He could be anywhere he could put himself. Well, you all have that ability. That's the cool and beautiful thing about it all. You all have that ability. Beauty, you're so beautiful, each and every one of you. We have to start accepting more of our divinity instead of seeing ourselves as humans in this little rock spinning through space and eating this crap and stuff and having all these serious tumors and problems. That can all be wiped away and cleaned away with the understanding of proper chemistry and diet and things like that. Then you can go on to something else. This is being beaten, labored to death, when health is simple. And you just have to unwind what you're creating when you understand what species the human body belongs to. Not you, the human body.
I think this is just, it's kind of cool putting yourself in the perspective of you guys, some of the newer people watching and some of the veterans who've probably been watching the video longer than I've been around here. Just kind of putting it in the perspective of, hey, this might be their first video.
Yeah, I know.
And it's just them sitting there, oh God.
Look at those two guys walking off on it.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. It's nice, and it's like you never know. These might be the people that you're talking to down the road, and it's just like you don't know what you've set into motion, and it's cool because I'll tell you what, the biggest thing that I love seeing with people here in the clinic is that makes the job good is that you take someone that comes into the clinic totally, not in a negative way, because we're all ignorant to things that we don't. We all don't know what we don't know. Yeah. So, but you're taking someone totally from an ignorant state of mind or consciousness. You just plant information. Don't put anything behind it. You just give them information. Then you start seeing the blinders are lifted away. Start peeking out, seeing what's around, and then from there you saw that little seed that you've planted into them kind of expands, and then they start coming to you to questions. And I always tell people, when they start coming back a few weeks later and they're starting to answer their own questions, and all I have to sit there and go, yep, you got it. It's like, there's nothing better, there's no better feeling in the world, for me at least, than, because, it takes the stress away from it. Like, when you don't know, that's, again, going back to a fear. When you're hurting and you're sick, you don't know what's going on, that's scary. That's really scary.
It is scary.
Because then you don't know. And you're being directed, whether, coming from that point where you're just knowing and saying, okay, this is what's wrong. and detach is a weird word, but that's the word I like to use too, and it's just you detach and you almost become a detective. All right, what systems are down? What areas can I work on? It changed that perspective, and that's, I guess,
Excellent, yeah.
what we're pretty much just doing that
Yeah,
primarily.
yeah. It's so simple. It's unbelievable. We're changing the perspective on the type of food you eat because of your body's design. And the chemistry, of course, has changed. The electricity has changed. We're actually electrifying your body like nobody's business. Turning it on, redesigning the cells, going back to some of the more original blueprints. I mean, there's all kinds of cool things. Your body's going to go through all kinds of shape changes, color changes, can go through all kinds of stuff. And it's so much fun and cool. It's just something that's fun to do. But it's your survival. And awakening is your survival beyond this world. And it just, to me, I don't know, it's invigorating to get when the energy's coming and everything, and to know more of the infinite. That's cool stuff. You know, we got a buzz, so we have to tell you we love you guys.
Yep.
And we appreciate you.
Yeah.
Yep. And we'll be back again because we got a whole pile to go through.
I'll be glad to go.
Yeah, it's fun stuff. Thank you so much. Every one of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Put yourself on a raw food diet. Put yourself on lots of fruits, berries, and melons. Stay away from your proteins, your dairy products. Enjoy your travels. Open your heart. Forget about life on this planet. Open up to the beautiful what could be. Look at all those galaxies out there. Look at what's beyond this level, too. And just don't have to just keep yourself here. But we love you. You have fun, and we'll be back.
Sounds like a plan.
Good, like a plan.
Take care.